This is a question that comes down to values. If you believe that God wants you to go through hardships to come out better on the other side, then you might see pain as a good thing. But if you believe that the goal of political action is to come together and work side by side to ease each other's pain for the betterment of everyone, then pain...
Shirkers rise up. Sure. Let's all shirk together. How do you think that's going to work out?
Pain is something you may want to minimize. So why does this whole exploratory journey even matter? Well, the teacher part of me wants to say that exploration matters because it's good practice to think critically about why you believe things and what the implications of those beliefs are. It is all...
This is critical thinking, Sitch, just in case. In case you missed that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think there's any critical thinking happening at this point in the video. But...
I don't know what kind of critical thinking she's talking about. Whether it's like critical theory, critical thinking, or...
I'm just still curious on how the left, which is motivated by avoiding pain, is going to function in a society devoid of pain. But,
yeah,
who knows?
That's a non-functional society. But this is why the conservatives are always raging about this kind of stuff. Like, you want to create a society that's non-functional. That's the ultimate goal.
Always good to interrogate our beliefs and biases, and I think that it's even better to model what that process looks like. But more concretely, I think that we have learned a little bit about the ideology of PragerU and... Why does this whole exploratory journey even matter? Well, the teacher part of me wants to say that exploration matters because it's good practice to think critically about why you believe things and what the implications of those beliefs are. It is always good to interrogate our beliefs and biases, and I think that it's even better to model what that process looks like. But
what does it mean, Adam, to interrogate your own biases? And to delve deep into your way of thinking. What is that? In the context of this conversation, is it a pleasant experience for most people?
Oh no, it's very painful. Yeah, you're very
to delve deep and to analyze their biases and worldview.
You've hit upon something. It requires a lot of discipline to be able to do something like that.
Or is it a horribly painful experience for most people to delve deep and to think critically about why they think things that they do? And it's an incredibly scary process to potentially destroy their own worldview. The stability of their worldview.
It's very painful. It's very,
right. Oh,
I don't think any of that pain has been experienced in this video, though. I think all this is completely superficial. She also said to examine the implications of your personal beliefs. She didn't ever examine the implications of her beliefs. That didn't happen in this video.
No, she examined one thing, which is that she had a gut reaction to disagree instantaneously with PragerU.
Oh, you're right. You're right. In the beginning, she did. Right. And that's the depth of...
That was as far as it went, though. Right.
Yeah.
No, but I bring this up because she is casting herself as the leftist, and that leftists are motivated by avoiding pain.
Right. Yes.
And yet she is ending this by telling people that they should do a painful process because it would make them a better person.
Yes.
Which was the entire thing she was criticizing the right for doing 10 seconds earlier.
That's so ironic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
That's so funny. As soon as you seized it on it, you're like, wait.
I was like, wait a second. Zoe,
you're right.
Come on.
You're right.
Zoe,
you're
you stepped right on the rake.
Yeah.
Smacked you in the face.
It is
now
painful.
You're feeling some pain.
Nobody wants to interrogate their own beliefs. Obviously, it's much more comfortable to just sit in your progressive echo chamber and just postulate how benevolent your tribe is and how evil the other tribe is. That's the non-painful way to proceed.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people take that non-painful route.
Listen, I'm a good leftist, so okay. I'm going to avoid pain like a good leftist. So I'm not going to think about any of the things you talked about because it makes me feel painful. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
You know what's uncomfortable? You know what makes me feel painful? Discussing and thinking about my white privilege, Adam. Okay.
Really?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that makes
Oh
me,
yes.
yeah. I don't like talking about racism.
I had a conversation with Robin DiAngelo yesterday.
Right. Did
Robin
you?
DiAngelo came to my house yesterday,
Ouch.
and she was like, Sitch, I want you to be a good white person and to acknowledge your white privilege and to confront your whiteness. And I said, listen, Robin,
Right.
I would do that if I was a
Right.
conservative,
Right.
because conservatives are all about, believing that you should confront pain.
Right. Discipline. Yeah.
And discipline. But
Yeah.
I'm a leftist now, Robin, and I believe in avoiding pain.
Right.
And so what you're suggesting sounds painful and uncomfortable. So I'm going to avoid it the best I can.
Discipline is bad. You're right. Pain avoidance is good. Yeah.
Right. What you're saying makes me feel bad and pained, emotionally painful. So go fuck off, Robin DiAngelo. I'm going to be happy in my whiteness. Okay?
No emotional labor here. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. She just completely single-handedly avoided the entire social justice movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is for white people to confront their own selves, basically.
Painfully confront their own privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they have this way of saying that they're bad for not doing that. But I thought, wait a second, I thought you were good if you were avoiding pain. And I thought you wanted people to avoid pain. That's what made you good.
Isn't it leftists and people on the left who generally who criticize the right, and I would say wrongly in most respects, saying, oh, the right doesn't want to teach the history of slavery and segregation.
Because it's too painful.
In our country. Because it's just too painful.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. Why are they avoiding that pain? They should just headlong right into that pain so that they can become better people.
You're right.
Yeah. Why are they so eagerly trying to change the system?
I know.
So it's less painful for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like this whole, the thesis of this pain versus pain avoidance thing is not accurate.
It's like all over
on a left-right divide anyway. It's not accurate at all. So.
But it's fun to react to.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
More concretely.
Just think, she's teaching children. This is like little
she a
tots.
teacher?
Yeah, she just said me as a teacher.
Oh. Well, I don't know if she meant like through her YouTube channel or something.
This woman screams teacher. I'm sure she's I'm sure 20 little kids show up in her classroom and tell us how the world works.
Right.
She's probably like Nurse Ratched in the classroom. She's probably just like busting the whip. Get your asses in your seats.
I think that we have learned a little bit about the ideology of PragerU and, by extension, the ideology of the sections of the right that they represent. Ultimately, we understand what they meant by the statement, most of leftism is an avoidance of pain, and we know why they think that's true, and why the avoidance of pain, to them, is a bad thing. We know that it comes down to whether people are good or bad. If people are good, then we can work together and overcome the painful things. But if people are bad, then pain is inevitable, and it's naive to try to avoid it.
See, she's totally casting down on the whole socialization process. Like, it's like she doesn't even really understand it, which is sad. Very sad.
No. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So you better just suck it up and go through it. But it's up to us to decide whether we agree with that. And this isn't one of those videos where I'm going to tell you this is right and this other thing is wrong and you have to agree with me. Because I think that this question is a lot more personal than that. It's not a policy question, and it's not even really a political question. It's a philosophical question that comes down to your values. So feel free to share in the comments whether you agree with this or not. Personally, I am a very optimistic person who believes in the goodness of humanity or whatever. And
look, she's spilling it right here. She's giving the whole game away here.
Well,
I'm a very optimistic person.
Yeah, but what does that even? I mean, I'm optimistic. I believe in the goodness of humanity. Doesn't mean I believe like
the doesn't mean I believe problem
people are born, you know, innocent angels. I believe in the goodness of humanity. That is, I believe in the goodness of humans, you know, being able to come. I mean, what does humanity mean? It means humans as a collective. I believe humans can come together and create something good. I don't think that means humans are born intrinsically, you know, good or perfect.
Yeah, and there's a spectrum. Like the whole idea that all humans are innately good or bad just doesn't seem correct to me. It seems like there is a spectrum of goodness and badness to human beings.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
A lot of that has to do with, I mean, I do think all humans start off selfish. And during the socialization process, there's, you know, people achieve certain levels of selflessness and certain levels of, you know, ingenuity, motivation, all kinds of different things.
Of course.
They don't want to accept any of that. They want to think, you know, no matter how hard you try, you're a beautiful angel who deserves a trophy.
Right. And
go ahead.
That just promotes people to not
try. Yes. Yes. Right. Yes.
I mean, that was always Jordan Peterson's, you know, used to be his big thing. Is there's nothing worse than telling someone that they're perfect the way they are.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's not true.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be true. You know who?
There's a Sitch out there that makes a video once a week.
There is in an alternate universe. This is part of why I used to love One Punch Man before it became ruined and the schlock that it is now. Is that was the whole concept of Saitama's character. Is that he is the person that has achieved, you know, so many animes are built around, you know, the characters are on this quest for strength. They're always on this perpetual quest to become stronger. You know?
Right.
That's like, you know, the Dragon Ball Z stereotype. You know, Goku must always, you know, go past his limits. He keeps fighting new foes to continually becomes the stronger character.
Right.
And
Saitama started at the top.
Right, and that's the joke with Saitama. Well, he didn't start at the top; he started like everyone else, but he just became the top.
Right.
He just became the top, and there's literally nowhere else for him to go.
Yeah.
And what happened? He lost all motivation.
He
completely lost
goal.
all motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's death for human beings.
Right. And that's why he just kind of languishes around. He doesn't know what to do with his life.
Yeah.
He's the most powerful person in the entire series, and he gains like no joy or happiness from it whatsoever.
Very sad.
Well, that's why, yeah.
He is the clown.
That's what was interesting. I love so much about One Punch Man. Unfortunately, it's been sort of recently been kind of turned into just action schlock, but you know, whatever.
Well, what's wrong with that, my friend Sitch? What's wrong with action?
Nothing's wrong with action. There's problems wrong with action schlock. It's a different thing.
You want something that explores the characters in a meaningful way. So do I. I mean, obviously,
yes.
It should do that and provide stimulating eye candy at the same time.
Yep.
That's the best case scenario. Zoe Bee has a bunch of videos. We should watch another one. Not right now, but we should watch.
Yeah, maybe in the future we'll see this other content.
I feel like this is deep in the progressive bubble and just
it is
completely mischaracterizing conservative. But I mean, at least she's got a good target, because I think PragerU makes a living totally mischaracterizing liberals.
Of course.
So, you know, they hate on each other.